Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Canadian Immigrant web conference series that's being held in partnership with Access Employment and sponsored by BMO. This industry-specific web conference is for professionals, international professionals, who are looking to start their own business in Canada. To be honest, this can apply to anyone, so there is a lot of fabulous information that's coming your way and a lot of great speakers, as you will see. So if you're unable to attend, or if you want to share this information with someone, this is being recorded and posted on our website to watch for those who are not able to make it. And before we get started, I just want to share a short video from one of our sponsors. So I'm joined by my colleague, Laura Jackman, who is here with me today. My name is Ramya Ramanathan. I'm the editor of Canadian Immigrant. And I'm also with my colleagues, Ricky Bajaj and Sanjay Agnihotri. So Laura, please go ahead and play the video.
$100 in value and 3 GB monthly bonus data for a year with Chatter Mobile. A small step towards growing your family. That's real financial progress. Apply now.
Thank you so much for that, Laura. So let's get started with our speakers. So I'm thrilled to introduce our first speakers joining us to speak with you today. From Access Employment, we have Ying Che. Ying has 12 years of experience working with newcomers and is a coordinator of the Entrepreneurship Connections program that is funded by the government, by IRCC, that helps immigrants who plan to start a business in Canada. If you have any questions for Ying, please type them in the chat by clicking on the chat link or the Q&A buttons, and we will answer them at the end of the presentation. You can also email us at info@canadianimmigrant.ca. So thank you for joining us, Ying, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Ramya and Laura, and the great opportunity. And again, my name is Ying, so I'm so happy to be with you today and talk about the how to start a business in Canada. Okay, so I'm gonna start to share my screen. So just want to minimize some distractions. I'm gonna turn off my camera during my presentation. Hope that's okay. Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, hope it's clear to everyone.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm so excited to be with you today and hope to provide you with a quick guide on how to start a business in Canada. So today that I'll be talking about the steps to take to prepare to launching a business, including entrepreneurial readiness, writing a business plan, and a few points about business registration regulations to keep in mind when launching your business. So I'm also going to talk about finding customers as well as briefly discuss some financing options. I will also be providing you with some resources that can help you as you plan your business. So finally, at the end, that I will gonna talk a little bit, a very brief introduction to the Entrepreneurship Connections program. For those that who, if you are interested in learning more in depth about how to start business Canada, that's a business training then funded by the government. Right? Thank you. So let's get started. So when it comes to exploring an entrepreneurial journey, the first questions that we need to think about is are you ready? So let's take a deeper look at what that question means by, what does this question mean for budding entrepreneurs? So there are two main considerations to think about when it comes to business readiness. One is personal readiness, and the other is the business viability. So you probably will want to ask yourself a few questions to see if you're really ready for doing the business, and also if the business is ready to start. So let's take a look at the personal readiness first. So understanding the key attributes of a successful entrepreneur can help you to explore your own goals and designs of being an entrepreneur. So when it comes to reflecting on whether you have these key attributes, also think about whether you are ready to take the leap to start your own business. You may want to start by asking yourself the following questions, like have you operated a business before? Because if you have a business experience, you probably have gone through some setbacks or dealing with some challenges that you will be more mentally prepared. Or do you understand the pros and cons of running your own business versus traditional employment? Because these two are very different. Running your business, you may work, you're not really working from 9 to 5, but traditional employment, that's a kind of like a set schedule, right? And how motivated are you to pursue a business? Is it idea just came up like last night, or it could be a dream that you've been thinking of from your childhood, right? And the other question could be, can you work independently? Because at the beginning, being entrepreneur, you probably wear multiple hats that you probably will be, most likely will be on your own or with your family member at the beginning, but it may not be a full team be with you, right? And also ask yourself, how do you respond to setbacks? And the very important question is, can you sell? Or the last question that if you're not comfortable or not confident with that, that's a skill that can be developed, but it's a good question to ask. So here I am introducing a tool that could help you to do some self-assessment. The entrepreneurship self-assessment is one tool of many that can help you identify if you have some common characteristic of an entrepreneur. So we would highly recommend you to start with the BDC Entrepreneur Potential Self-Assessment. You can try it out for yourself. So this is the link, and you also can find it from BDC website. It's very easy to locate it. That navigated the entrepreneur toolkits. But also remember, the result of your assessment are not definitive. These tools will provide you a starting point for reflection and can identify some of your strengths and potential challenges. The result also can bring into focus what motivates you to start your own business, right? But at the end, if you are surprised by the result, I would say ask your own gut feeling, right? So that could be the more instinct to yourself. Okay, so this is the personal readiness, and next let's take a look at the business viability. So when talking about the business viability, that we can start by asking yourself, is there a market for the business that I'm hoping to start? Okay, it could be who my ideal customer be, and how can I reach them? Have I ever sold this particular product or services before? Do I understand its market positionality? Okay, where I'm going to sell? Okay, who are my competitor and how do I stack up against them? So what is your winning points? And what trends are affecting the market or the particular industry my product or services is a part of? Okay, so thinking about like for example IT. So IT changed rapidly over the year. So that the trends you may need to take into the consideration if your business are in that area. And the second thing that we look into the business viability are the resources that you may have. Okay, and check to see if you have sufficient resources to leverage that market opportunity. You may want to think about the money. Okay, what are your startup costs? Are you able to self-finance, or will you need to look for external financing opportunity? And then you may also need to think about, what about the time? Do you have a timeline for when you would like to launch your business? Do you have to worry about seasonality when it comes to your opening? Have you given yourself enough time to properly plan the launch? And of course, the contacts. Do you have people in your network that can play a key role in your business success? Are these potential customer or strategic partners? How can you leverage your contacts to help you support your business? So think about who are the people around you, or what additional contacts that you may need to further develop. The next, we also need to think about the skills and experience that you may have that related to your business, and can you execute on your business idea. That will including, do you have the ability, knowledge, practice to do it well, or do you have the industry experience? So expertise often indicates the ease of success of a business. For example, an experienced chef and restaurant manager likely has a great advantage over software engineer when it comes to building a catering business. Right? So before we do have a client who doesn't have that restaurant experience, but wanted to open a restaurant in GTA area, and that he needs to take a longer time to review the market and then hiring chef. So it will take a longer time for him to start this business. Okay. So with the experience, with the expertise, most likely that will launch the business sooner. All right, so that is the readiness that we normally think about before really start a business journey. Then next, so we're gonna take a further steps to look into the business plan. Some of you might be thinking, what is a business plan? Is it really necessary? Okay, particularly for those that if you just want to do something e-commerce, right, selling clothing, very simple stuff, that you may ask that, why do I need one? So we highly recommend that everyone, regardless what your business is and how the scale it is, so we will recommend that you have a business plan, because it is a roadmap of your business goals and how you plan to achieve it. The plan contains the answer to questions that start with who, what, where, why, and how. So a business plan will test the viability of your idea and provides a clear vision and focus with actionable steps and timelines. Studies also have shown that the business plan increase the chance of business success and reduce the risk. And also, please remember, a business plan is a living document. It will act like your GPS. I like this metaphor, and it can constantly adjusting as your business grows and change. So a business plan is not a document you draft and then you put on the shelf for like years. Actually, you will review it periodically and then make some change according to the trends or the business environment changes. All right, so now let's take a look at some of the key components of the business plan. So you can find different type of like templates on internet, but no matter what template that you use, it will contain these key sections of a business plan. The first, the executive summary will provide a brief overview of what is included in a business plan. It summarizes your plan and typically includes the highlights of your company profile, market research, marketing, and finance. And this is written in such a way that the reader can rapidly become acquainted with your business plan without having to read it all. So although this comes in the first of your business plan, but it usually complete last. So you can do it at the end. So once your business idea and the sections of the business plan have been solidified, and you can go back and then to write this part. So I would like to think of this like an abstract as of like a research paper. Okay, and the next, the next part is the company summary. Okay, so this session will details what your company is about, the services or product offer, and the people involved. When writing this session, so please be sure to consider the type of business that you will be operating, the history of the product or services that you have, and location. Be sure not to over-focus on the what of your business and neglect the who, how, and why of the rest of your plan. So you need to think of it as a holistic. And you will also want to make sure to spend some time reflecting on how your product or services benefit the customer. So that's the part that you're gonna talk about your product in the product session, and including how are you solving your customer's problem. For example, the product or services could be of better quality, more convenient, reliable, or socially responsible. Perhaps it is easy to use, increase enjoyment, or save your customers time or money. So think about what are the benefits of your product. And certainly, we cannot neglect the market analysis summary. So this is very key to the business plan, particularly when you are applying for loans. So the market analysis is essential to a strong business plan. You will want to provide an overview of the industry you intended to sell your product or services in. You will also need to outline who your customers and key competitor are, including that you can including on competitor strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats, and all a SWOT analysis that you have. Okay. So for the next, you will also need to make sure you increase your implementation and operation strategy in your business plan. So make sure to clear lay out how you plan to execute on a customer order from sales through to deliver, okay, to the delivery. And also identify how you will maintain your customers and the day-to-day running of your business. So that is the operation. Do you need any license or permit? And how you're going to like register your business? What type of business that you're going to register? So that is the implementation part. And finally, you will definitely need to include your financial plan. So that's another very key sessions. So especially if you intend on using your business plan to look for any outside financing sources, either investor or loans. So make sure to provide a clear forecast on how your company will perform over the next 1 to 2 years, not a short period. It has to be like the next 1 to 2 years. And also detail how much money you will need to start your business and provide, I would say, realistic assumptions and rationale on your sales forecast. So these are the key sessions. Now you know about the key components of the business plan. You probably want to know how you're going to start, right? What is the business plan process? How you're going to write the business plan? So first, first I would say, please remember, the business plan may not be like a finish just overnight, right? So it can take a weeks or 2 months to complete a strong business plan. It does require hard work, time, energy, and also commitment to do it as well. So we can starting by writing down your goal. So pick a business plan template and begin to document what you already know in each session. Then you can identify the gap and begin to fill those gaps by doing your market research. You may also need to test your products, services, assumption to the actual customers. So if you have a physical product, you may want to have a sample, give it to the customer to test and having that feedback. Or if that's a services-based business, that you may want to try some free trial to the customer and get feedback, right? And then develop a go-to-market strategy, then begin to forecast the sales and expense based on that strategy. And you also want to identify the financing needs and start looking at other sources if required. And certainly create an action plan, write it down, and also track with other professionals, listen, learn, and make any adjustment based on their advice. Right? So that is the business plan, and where you're going to find the business plan template. Our program, normally we use the template from BDC, so you can check their website. And also there's another government website that you can find those information. Futurepreneur also have a great online business plan template. So great tools to use. And certainly if you're looking for loans from the commercial banks and other lending institution, they certainly have their own template as well. Okay, now we have already discussed the business plan process. So now let's take a look at the business registration and regulations. So there are three types of business. There are three types of business. So you may want to, you need to define what are your goals and then decide which one then you're going to start to register. So the first one is called sole proprietor. The second one will be partnership. And then the third one is a corporation. So the difference among these three is the liability. So the if anything happened, that who is going to be responsible, right? Certainly, sole proprietor is 100% liability on the business owner, and partnership, the risk will be shared between the partners. The partner could be 2 or 3. It depends on your how you're going to operate your business. And the corporations will have a limited liability. If your business are in certain industry, like import, export, trading, food related, or children, or healthcare related, that's a recommendation for you to incorporate that business. It will help you to reduce some risk. Okay. And regardless which structure you choose or what nature of your business is, so make sure to consider the regulation and license that may affect your business. So look at the 3 level of the regulations, like a federal regulations, like a trade, border control, currency, food regulations, cosmetic, tobacco, health, education. So those are the federal regulations. And if your business are in health, education, childcare, travel agents, or trade, like a plumbing, carpenter, or like construction, so then you may need to look into provincial regulations. And certainly consider the municipal regulations if anything related to zoning, and you need to obtain like a building permit, or you need to have the file of public health like an inspection. Okay. So you may have a question here, say like it seems the federal regulation and provincial regulation is kind of like an overlapping. For example, food industry or TRICARE, we listed on the screen. So what are the difference between these two? I would say look into your business. If your business is crossing the border, that you may need to look into the federal regulations. If it is just like within Canada, it's nationwide, that you will look into the provincial one. Okay. So here are the resources can help you to find more information about the regulations, like a BizPal. That's a very nice resources. And if you're living in GTA, Toronto area, and the Enterprise Toronto, it's services under the City of Toronto, that you will find more information about the business registration, regulations, and some municipal licensing. If you're living in other region, like a York region, Peel region, or other regions in like Ontario, or maybe in your cities, depending on where you're living in, so check the local municipal like a small business center for some local resources. And you also can check some professional or trades association for some industry specific info. Okay. Now let's talk about the most important part of any successful business, which is finding customers. So when it comes to finding and reaching customers for your product or services, you want to start by thinking about who your ideal customer is. Many entrepreneurs make the mistakes of assuming that everyone is their customer. However, that is just not a productive way to think about your marketing strategy. So thinking more critically about who is purchasing this product and services. And also you may need to develop a profile of your ideal customer and use it to better understand their problems, how they buy, what are their buying habits, when they buy, what satisfy or dissatisfy them. And this will be key in reaching the right customer. So remember, not everyone's your customer. Thinking about who is going to pay the money, right? So you can develop the list by using some resources, like using the directories. I don't know if some of you are familiar with Scott's directory. You can get it from the library. And also you can check some association membership list. Certainly networking, that's the key. Networking with the professionals or networking with those attend those conference that your customers normally gathering together, and also join those business event as well. Here, I just want to point out one thing that if you're gonna send out a blast email or text message, so make sure you follow the Canada's new the anti-spam legislations. So you need to get their consent to send those information to them. Okay. So that is you need to find the customers. So once you know who your customer is, that you can start to build a go-to-market strategy by thinking about where your customers spend their time, okay? And what media do they consume? And are they found in a specific geography, or do they transact online, offline? So think about this, their behavior, right? So your customers' behavior. How do they make a buying decision? Who are their influencing decision maker, right? That who will help them to make the decision for buying stuff. So asking this question can help you to build a go-to-market strategy. So we are going to talk about the planning a business and how to reach to the customers, but how about the funding? Okay. So here I would like to share some facts with you. I'm not sure it will be surprising to you, but the fact is, on average, Canadian business starts with 5,000 or less, which means they don't need a huge amount of money to start. And most of business owners, they self-finance their startup, particularly at the beginning. And business with less than 2 years old have the most difficulty to obtain financing. So the banks or the lenders, they're looking into a 2 years of financial statement. And here also there's a numbers that from the industry Canada showing that in the 2015, 75% of Canadian business owner did not seek financing because it wasn't really a need. So that being said, growth require financing, and certain business that tend to require higher amount of, for example, initial investment are those that they need a significant capital equipment, for example, manufacturing industry or restaurant. They may need a physical location, or the business in the technology field that need to scale quickly, or the R&D field, like a pharmaceutical. So these are some example of the business that may need may have the most strong financing needs. While the services and the online-based business, they tend not to require as much startup financing. Okay, so if you are doing e-commerce or you have a consulting company or consulting business, so normally this business doesn't require some a significant startup financing. Most of the I'll say business owner in that area, they choose to self-finance at the beginning. So then let's take a look at there's some resources to help with the financing. So first of all, look at yourself, your saving or some support from friends and family, or maybe in partnership with other business people, or they could get some financing support from them. Or you may look into angel investor, venture capital, or going to public, or look for government funding. Okay. Then you also can look into crowdfunding. So these are some websites that you can take a look, and then if you have the needs in that area. All right. There are two government banks. So one is the BDC, Business Development Bank of Canada. So they normally give their typical clients will requires is are the 5,000 50,000 above. Okay, there's no collateral required. So for more information, you can visit their website. There's another, their sister bank is EDC, which is specifically for export business. Okay. If you don't really require a huge amount of financial support, you probably need a couple of thousands or maybe 10,000. So in Canada, they also have the micro lenders available. Micro lenders are those that have funding available under 15K. Okay, they normally look into the credit history versus the collaterals. So I'm talking about in GTA area. Or Ontario, that you can look into Access Community Capital Fund, Alternate Saving, Futurepreneur, or Rise Asset Development. So these are the four like micro lenders in the local area. Futurepreneur is a nationwide organization. So if you are in other cities or other province, so this is also a very good options for you. But also make sure that you meet their eligibility. Futurepreneur, they give the funding to business owners whose age is under 39. Okay. The alternate saving is Ontario one. Okay. So here are some tips could help you to minimizing the startup cost. So you can make sure to identify your target customer earlier, and also do a test on minimum viable product to minimize the fixed cost. For example, if you want to rent a space, rent an office, so that's something that you can minimize. You can think about it. Don't scale up until you know your business model works. If you need to lease, if you need some equipment, so think about leasing versus buying. Okay, and certainly, at the beginning of your business, you also can consider using the shared space, shared office space, or approach to incubator for additional support, and also they also provide like a providing the office space as well. Okay, so think about what can you do in your case. Other factors you also can consider is to negotiate a favorable credit term with your largest suppliers that can help you reduce some costs at the beginning. And if you have the needs to hire someone, so you may consider paying commission or hire contractors at the beginning instead of hire the full-time employee. Because hiring full-time employees, you may need to pay the EI, like a CCP, and other stuff. And remember, money doesn't grow the business, and customer do. Okay. So here are the resources. You can take a screenshot if you like, and that's easy to Google. There's the resources can help you to get more information, and some of them they even have the very good online learning, so then can help you to learn more about it. So if you would like to, you say like online resources, it's not enough, that you may consider some like a further business training or finding a program to help you to get more in-depth information. So here I'm gonna maybe spend another 3 to 4 minutes to talk about Entrepreneurship Connections program. So Entrepreneurship Connections program is one of the program within Access. So Access is one of the leading nonprofit organization providing employment services, and we are focusing on making connections. Our services is focusing on employment, helping people in terms of the job search, connecting with employers through different programs. We also have the business focus program, which is Entrepreneurship Connections and Entrepreneurship Connections Pre-Arrival. The Pre-Arrival program is for immigrants who is obtaining the PR status, but they are not in Canada yet. So before they are landing, we provided that support for them. Okay. So feel free to visit our website and then to learn more about our program. Either you want to finding a job or you want to do something related to business. Okay. So the Entrepreneurship Connections program have 2 streams. One is the pre-arrival, we call ECP, and the other one is more local for those who are already in Canada, we call EC Entrepreneurship Connections. Our program is funded by IRCC, the federal government, and our main corporate partner is BDC. So that's why I talk a lot about Business Development Bank when through my presentation just now. The ECP program is a free online entrepreneurship training, and then we provide the webinars. We're providing webinars and also access to the e-learning modules to those who is not in Canada yet, but they would like to exploring the entrepreneur or business opportunities, or may also help them to starting working on the business plan. So besides the webinar and e-learning modules, that we also arrange a Talk Business Cafe, which is a networking opportunity for immigrants to network with local entrepreneurs or experts. We're also providing one-on-one advisory sessions and to help our clients to develop a personalized action plan. And before they arrive, we're providing the target referrals to community-based programs and services upon their arrival in Canada. It depends on where they landed. We're providing the local resources. And the local Entrepreneurship Connections program, it's a longer support. It's starting from a 4 weeks intensive business training. And then after the 4 weeks that we're providing 1 year, and now it's up to 2 years follow-ups. So that's why we said it's more like a long-term support. So the four weeks entrepreneurship program training is helping newcomer entrepreneurs to working on their business plan, and also providing mentoring support within the 4 weeks and also after the 4 weeks training. Within the program, that business advising, business coaching session also available to our clients. So these are the training overview. So we will cover the legal aspect, market research, how to do the marketing, also taxation. We will invite our partners come in to talk about financing options, and certainly will help our clients to develop the business plan pitch.
Yang, sorry to interrupt. Can I ask you to wrap up in the next minute?
Sure, I'm gonna finish. Yes.
Okay, thanks. Okay.
So here are the eligibility for the program. It has to be permanent residents, not citizens. We also accept productive persons. So applicants need to bring a viable business idea to the training because it is a very hands-on and practical training. Okay, so I'm gonna skip this one. So our trainings actually are conducted by the subject matter experts. So this is a very high quality training. If you're interested in learning more about the program or interested in registering for the program, feel free to contact me. So I'm responsible for program coordination, registration. So this is my email that you can email me that I can provide further information. Thank you very much. Sorry that take a bit longer time to talk.
No, that was such a great presentation and so much great information. So thank you, Ying. So unfortunately, we don't have time for a Q&A, but we have a lot of questions, just don't have time to address them. What I suggest is Ying has shared her email, so please send her an email, or you can send it to us, info@canadianimmigrant.ca, and we will forward it on to the speakers. So thank you so much, Ying, and thank you to Access Employment for partnering with us.
Thank you.
So I'm going to go to our next speaker. So our next speaker at the web conference series, looking to start their business in partnership with Access Employment and sponsored by BMO, is Larissa Grant. She is an associated certified coach and mentoring coach at the Neighborhood Organization in Toronto. So Larissa, please go ahead. And folks, if you have questions for Larissa, please type them into the chat box or use the Q&A button, or you can email us at info@canadianimmigrant.ca. So Larissa, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Ramya. Thank you. Do you hear me well?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Actually, before I start, and I would like, of course, to talk about, my own experience, what worked for me, and I will also share some resources that were super helpful. I have a request for organizers. Is it okay while I'm now talking for a few minutes about my own experience? Is it okay if attendees just write a couple of words what their business is, if they have a business idea? And then you can summarize it for me so that when I'm giving specific suggestions, I can kind of target certain businesses. If that's okay, let me know.
Okay, folks. So per Larissa's request, if you want to put in any words in the chat box, so Larissa can look at those words and talk about her own experiences. That would be great. So please do so in the next 20-30 seconds. Larissa, can you see the chat box as well?
Yes. And I know that Laura said she may be helpful in kind of summarizing. So if I miss some of the businesses, please keep an eye on that as well, because I love interacting. Like I love talking to entrepreneurs, and I would like to know, where they're at right now. Okay, thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it.
Okay, lots of topics. So it's up to you to pick. Textile, driver, bakery, cafe, immigrant, consulting, language training, health, natural care, event organization, life coach. You have, your pick. Go ahead. Bookshop. You probably need a whole hour to do this, but unfortunately.
Okay. Guys, keep writing. Appreciate that. And I'll start talking about, my own experience. Thank you again, Canadian Immigrant, for letting me talk about my pathway. So now I am a certified coach. So I see someone wants to become a coach as well. I didn't make that decision right away. The ideas about entrepreneurship started when I was still back in Ukraine, but I heard about challenges for entrepreneurs that I was not ready for. So when I came to Canada, the idea was becoming stronger and stronger. And one of my partners, my friend, said, how about we start a dating business? I was actually doing my York University studies, studies of psychology. And, I thought I knew everything. I knew everything about people. So we said, yes, we needed extra cash. By the way, starting a business just to make cash is not the best reason, but we'll get to that later. So we started working together. Now, how we reached out to customers, and Ying suggested really great ideas how you can reach out. So what we did was we put advertisement in community newspapers. So first we targeted people from the former Soviet Union, and then we extended to the English, speaking audience, to locals, so to say. And that was, it was awesome. What we offered was one-on-one experience. We were not Tinder, we were not Match.com. We talked, we interviewed every customer. So we would try to learn about, everything about them, what they expected, and then match them with potential, partner, and we send them to dates, and then we would listen to their feedback. Now, in terms of money, it was going well. My experience showed that through time, I started hearing feedback from customers where I felt I could not help them at that time. And think about that. If somebody calls you after a date and says, I didn't like the color of her stockings, or I didn't like his ears, or something like that. So it seems like they kind of want to meet somebody, for long term, and maybe start, get married, start a family. But there is that, we call it complaining. So at that time, I did not have the skills to dig deeper into how do I screen my customers? Are they really ready? Do they really want to start a relationship? And they're paying us. So it's part of the seriousness if a customer pays you. So then after a couple of years, I realized what would help is actually create some kind of a program where we would actually help cover some gaps for our customers. If I have some kind of baggage from previous partnership, or if I have some internal blockages or beliefs that stop me from being happy in a relationship, that needs to be done with first, and then you go into the field. So I understood that. However, I decided not to implement that program because I felt I needed more training. But while I'm sharing this with you is that while you're thinking about a business with people, I would say dig deeper into learning myself and learning about the needs of customers. Now, on a side note, you probably heard about people addressing entrepreneurs, addressing pain points of customers. We're talking about pain. There's a challenge, and I want to address that. Now, when you talk to customers, it's all about asking the right questions, and that's where coaching comes in. There are there are customers who are ready to address their issue, and that's why they hire you. And there are customers that just complain just because it's at the top of their mind, but it's still okay. They didn't hit the rock bottom yet. So for that, I'm going to later share with you the name of the book that will help you and will save you lots of time and probably thousands, if not millions of dollars, is how to ask and screen customers. Now, the next business that I started was cleaning business. Again, I had a partnership. Again, you can be entrepreneur on your own, and you can have a partner. Again, the idea was let's make some cash. Maybe not the best reason. No, if you're thinking seriously about doing a cleaning business, this is actually a great. There's a demand for that. Private, families need support. They don't have time. They don't know how to do it properly. Whatever the reason, there are thousands and thousands of homes that need you as a cleaning company. Plus, there are businesses. This is when you have a contract with a property company, and you hire employees and you clean. So this is really fast cash. That's true. Now, I want to share with you a little bit of a scary story and something for you to keep in mind, real life, what may happen, so that you are ready. Of course, for the cleaning business, I wanted to be the operator. And the idea was to hire people on full-time or contract basis to do the work. So, I would find clients and I would, connect them with my employees, my contractors. One day I found my new client, a restaurant in Toronto, for which I agreed to work for very little money. Now, here's another mistake, and I want you to remember that. Make sure you estimate your pricing so that you don't go too low, because there may be that expectation is, okay, I'm new, it's my probably first or second client, I want to grab them at any cost. To me personally, that was a big mistake. I agreed through tough negotiation for low cost service, and I needed to hire at least 2 individuals to clean that 2 restaurants at night starting at 11 p.m. And of course, I needed to make some margin, means that I had to pay these people even less money. I thought I found them, and I did the background check and everything. Now, 3 hours before the work begins, I receive a call from one of my hired contractors. I don't want to do it anymore. I'd rather be at home. The reality is no. So of course, I get scared. I said, okay, I'll do it myself then. But I did a posting on Kijiji, and decided to find a replacement really fast. I meet this person within an hour. I bring a contract. Let's sign. Here is the address of the restaurant. These are the hours you have to be there. Let's start. What happens? The next day, I receive a phone call from a police department saying, are you Larissa? Do you own this and this business? Yes. Well, this individual that you hired actually broke into a hotel and stole a laptop. Now we want to ask you more questions. So I was, of course, I was upset. And, luckily the police department understood that there was no involvement from me. But the fact that I had to hire that person really, really fast and did not have a chance to do a background check backfired. Luckily, there was no damage done to the business, because he did not do any damage business to my client. However, that person had the baggage. So my advice to you guys, if you are going to hire contractors or full-time employees and you're sending them to your client space, please do a background check. Also, what I did and did right away upon the advice of my mentors was buy professional liability insurance. It costs very little per month, but it covers the minimum packages up to $1 million. So it gives you the that peace of mind. No matter what happens, sometimes you have control over things, sometimes you don't, but you are covered. In Canada, insurance is paramount, and Ying did touch upon that. So that's my advice to you guys. Deliver on what you want to deliver. You deliver your services. Offer good pricing for your services, so then your contractors don't run away out of you when the time comes to actually do the work. Now, after that, of course, I gradually decided to wrap up my cleaning business. However, I learned a lot of lessons, and some of them I'm sharing with you guys. But I still wanted to service. I wanted to offer help to individuals, to clients. And as I mentioned earlier, I did my psychology degree. I liked everything about people. I love bringing people up. And my next step was doing recruitment. I worked as a recruiter for a staffing company, and gradually I opened my own career coaching practice. I loved working with people, and the way where I found clients was through advertising my events. So I would organize like networking events at restaurants. I would negotiate like a corner where we can hang out for free, and I would advertise that on Eventbrite. Again, I'll show you the slide later. So that's a great platform for promoting your events, promoting some activities for your business. Now, I see somebody ask a question about export-import. There is an export-import association, and they do events as well. They pre-COVID, they talked. They would gather at the hotel downtown, and they would advertise their events on Eventbrite. So once you join that association, all your questions, or majority of them, will be covered once you are among your peers, and you can ask questions directly. Now, in terms of what happened next, I realized that I needed expertise in serving people. I needed to get to know myself. And that's a big part is asking my motivation, why I want to run the business, what I'm trying to achieve, what's going to be the value to me as a person. That's why, guys, this is something that you will need to ask yourself every day and kind of test your theory. What's going to be the result? Do I want to change things? Think Apple. Or do I want to, create meaningful relationships? That's part of service business. Or I have so much expertise or knowledge in certain area, I want actually to be an expert. And that's what I'm combining, that passion and this expertise. I know I have information, I have knowledge, I have experience, and I want to share it with my clients, with participants like yourselves. So that it gives me the drive. So think for yourself, what will give you the drive to continue? Because there will be challenges, there will be long hours, because entrepreneurship is not about flexible lifestyle. That may happen in a few years, but not at the beginning. So think about what will give you the drive to continue. What will give you that the drive? Okay, I'm doing this for the right reason, for myself, for me, for my family. Say some people start their own businesses to offer great products, like I think at a grocery store. If, for example, if you offer the convenience, if it's the location of a grocery store and you are in a great neighborhood, so that's a great reason. Or if you are selling, for example, produce that is organic, or catered towards certain diet, or whatever it is. So be very specific and think about the end user, whom I'm going to make happy, whose life will be better because of me. So because it all will fuel your everyday, all your actions. So for me, as I mentioned, I want to help people. I love working with newcomers, as a coach. And I said, I did the training, I got my certification, and now I'm even more able to help people versus when it was 5-10 years ago. What coaches do is that we dig deep. What's stopping you? If you are making, say, $10,000 per month for a long time, you want to make more, but something inside you is stopping you. So that's where we dig deep, look into reality, being honest with ourselves. What are the barriers? What are my beliefs? Is it a belief about me, what I'm capable of? Is it my beliefs about money, my wealth mentality? There are millions of reasons what may be stopping you from growth. Or how come I'm getting clients that do not appreciate me or give me trouble? So we investigate what's happening and how can you have joy, because entrepreneurship, having your own business, is actually having fun, right? So seeing the result, and that's what I love about this. When I work with my clients, is that feedback. Oh my gosh, thank you. I'm now, I feel better, like I have more energy. I know what to do. I never thought about certain ideas, because 99% of information is already in you. It's just a matter of uncovering that. And as entrepreneurs, you always need to think about that. How can I bring more joy into my work, whatever it is, whatever business I'm offering to people? So, then I would like, of course, to open up later for questions. But that the part about getting to know yourself, it's almost a lifelong process. However, start early. My personal experience is that years ago, I did a lot of trainings. I learned marketing. I learned about branding. I learned how to get clients, how to even to do taxes. Like there's a big organization in Canada called H&R Block. They offer tax services to the public. I took their training. I can do my own taxes. So I was curious. So, however, things were not moving as progressive as I'd like. Why? Because I did not build the foundation. I did not uncover myself as an entrepreneur. So, and that's where those questions come, can I handle ambiguity and adversity? How can I handle it? A policeman calls me and says, did you hire this bad guy? Are you involved or something? Or how do you handle, challenges with, deliverables? Like, if you are in the supply chain business, do you have a backup plan, and how are you thinking? So uncovering yourself as a person, as a professional in your industry is super important. So think about the analogy of a house. You is the foundation. You can continue learning about space, where to get the funding, continue getting customers. But if you are not sure why you do it, for what purpose, it's going to be shaky. One day you may give up, and you won't be making as much money as you want to. So my advice is, get yourself a coach, mentor, join a mastermind group, whatever it is, read books, watch, YouTube has a lot of videos about discovering yourself as an entrepreneur, and get started. If you haven't started, again, there's no ceiling, keep going, so that you're always growing together with your own business. So now I would like to share a really couple of slides with you guys. One moment, please. Okay. Okay. So these are the resources that I promised I will share with you. As I said, your business idea, it's not easy to, handle all the thoughts that you have in yourself. Have a sounding board with somebody. Next, the team. As I was introduced, right now, I am on a contract with a community organization similar to Access, where I from. And as an entrepreneur, I have that luxury of taking on contracts and actually do extra things. And like I said, I love working with immigrants, and that's what this organization does. TNO offers help for immigrants. Now, if you want to hire a team, and I do want to believe that one day you will, TNO, as one of many other resources, can help you. Say, when you hire newcomers that are already clients of TNO, you as a business get financial incentives. This is great. Canada, the government is really cool about that. They offer you financial support. Definitely, you can reach out to us and find out more. Recruitment support. If you are not sure that am I interviewing correctly, how do I find the right people? Because if you love actually doing, your business, like you're doing that service that you're doing, the last thing you want to wear multiple hats. And that's unfortunately many people do. And it actually takes away your energy from the right thing, from what you actually love doing. For example, bookkeeping, administration, maybe even when you scale up, it's even a manager, operations manager. So all these individuals can be hired through TNO. Now, extra perks for TNO is settlement services. You want to have your head clear. I'm here in Canada. Things are taken care of for me and my family. Housing support, access to healthcare, child programs, anything you can think of. TNO supports you. Now, alongside with community organizations, you can receive operational support through probably dozens of freelance platforms. You probably heard about Fiverr, Upwork, and like I said, Eventbrite has a lot of events. But if you just Google freelance platforms, you will see dozens and dozens of links where you can hire for fraction of a regular fee, social media support, even IT professionals, web development. Now, talking about websites, I know there's an urge to create a fancy website right away. Unless you are in an e-commerce business, please slow down. We have free social media. You have supports among your friends. Start with free social media. A website, fancy website, can be done later. I've done my website. I had it for years. Now I have it on hold because I'm rebranding. However, for me, I use LinkedIn. So for any professional services, LinkedIn is the go-to platform. Facebook is great. And what I've done as well is I collaborated. And I want you to really, really take this seriously. The collaboration part, it's not easy to do it on your own. Reach out to people, to organizations that have similar customers. I collaborated with a Russian speaking from former Soviet Union media platform, Vesnik. So what we did together, we interviewed entrepreneurs. I did videos for them. We had videos on Omni TV, so that's a community network. I highly recommend that you hop on TV. If you get to Rogers, CP22, 24, anything like that, start with Omni TV, be on YouTube as a minimum, be out there, talk about your business, interview guests, interview professionals. And when you interview at least 10, 15 professionals, you already learn from them, and you are the 16th one. So it's something that's free to do. It's just a matter of involvement of your time. That's it. So you need to be out there. So I would say capitalize more on social media and on networks with other people. For example, as say if you want to do a construction business, right? Collaborate with real estate agents, because they know everybody. They know what house sells and builds, with land developers, with cleaning companies, and agree that you refer businesses to each other. You refer clients to each other. Clients, I mean individuals and companies. Now, what may work, and you can actually do this for free. Say you go together 3-4 businesses that are different, but kind of target the same clients, and create a flyer. Say you can volunteer and say, okay, I'll organize, I'll make sure that I put together all the content on a flyer, but other businesses, your friends, will pay the money. You will do it for free because you are putting together, you are organizing it all, you are coordinating. So the flyer has your information as well, but because you organized it, you did not pitch in your money. You print out flyers, use Canada Post, send it to whatever communities you want. That's how you got your advertisement for free. Now, I've done that for my cleaning business. And like I said, I've utilized Canada Post a lot. So they have this wonderful platform where you can zoom in on neighborhoods, and you can, by postal code, you decide where you want the postman to bring your flyers. You create flyers, you bring them over, or you pay for Canada Post to make them, and those flyers are delivered. What I've noticed now, because of COVID, some businesses stopped sending out flyers, not all, but some. And actually it works against them, because now everything is virtual. We actually get excited when we get a piece of paper in the mail, and guess what? People read those papers. So that's another tip for you. If you're thinking of advertising about your business, send out flyers through Canada Post. Next, like I mentioned, taxes. If you are curious about learning some about it yourself, there are multiple programs. One of them is with H&R Block. Now, legal support, and what I've used was the Legal Shield. It's a platform that offers their legal services as a membership. I think $25 or $30 per month, which is very little. You sign up, and you are assigned a lawyer in your community. Say for Toronto, it's Mills and Mills company, and other provinces it leaves a different organization. They help you create a contract with your potential clients, a contract with your potential employees and contractors. You have that peace of mind. A lawyer had looked at it. Of course, you can pay for the law services, but my goal today is offer you kind of like thrifty solution, something either very low cost or free. Now, you can Google law companies, law firms, and some of them offer the first consultation, first 30 minutes for free. Use them up. If you like them, you can then hire them for longer. But if money is an issue, that's a start. So what I'm asking you is, invest money where it's really necessary, where absolutely there's no way you cannot pay. But there are lots of services that are for free for you. Team up with organizations, team up with businesses that are not competitors to each other, and just go together. It's so much fun. You can discuss ideas together. Now, the books that I've mentioned that I would share with you, branding. The book is named Fascinate, and the author is Sally Hogshead. Now, as I mentioned earlier, it's all about how you project to the world, right? And somebody was asking earlier, is it even pricing or unique proposition? you will get your answer, because it's all about, am I thinking about changing the world? Am I thinking about being out there, being an expert? And one day you want to be an expert, right? Or the go-to store, the go-to professional, the go-to business. We don't want to be mediocre, right? So we want gradually to grow to a recognizable brand. So please feel free to buy this book and enjoy it and apply information. Now, for customers, as I mentioned earlier, the book, it's called The Mom Test by Rob Fitzpatrick. That's this book suggests you ideas and gives specific dialogues, how you talk to potential customers, so you don't end up wasting your time with a complainer or with somebody who doesn't need your service because they don't have a problem. That's I'm very brief, but please read this book. It will save you lots of money and save you lots of time and frustration. Next, what I would like to show, and it's something that he already shared with you guys, support services. Again, Canada supports entrepreneurs fully. Majority of the economy rests on small and medium businesses. So look at wherever you are, city services, check out their websites, boards of trade. Actually, I collaborated with Toronto Board of Trade. I rented their space to meet with my customers. You don't need to rent an office space, say post-COVID, say we come back. There are co-working spaces, and there are actually more impressive places like professional organizations like Board of Trade, where you can invite your customers to events and you can have one-on-one conversations with them. For example, I had one of my events, a conference for project management professionals at a Fairmount Royal York Hotel. For me, because that's my personality, and I keep pointing to learn about yourself. I love things that are impressive. So for me, having my event in that hotel gave me so much energy. I enjoyed it. I had a great turnout. I had amazing speakers. Later, I had an event at a different venue, and the energy was different. It was not my type of a venue. So I'm drawing, like, my advice is, once you understand yourself even better, if it's whether it's a business card or a flyer or an event venue, it has to speak about you, and you will feel comfortable. The people, so your customers will feel it, that you are at the right place and you have the great energy, and everything around you helps you deliver services to your clients. Government. So the website CanadianInnovators.org. If you are scaling up and you want more funding, more support, you can see on this website list of organizations that actually receive support from the government and all kinds of help in getting clients. Isn't this great when the government has your back, and they give you funding, give you support? So check it out and see the eligibility and organizations that already getting support from the government. Incubators, accelerators, again, was mentioned. Just Google these words. In Ontario, Mars Discovery District, I personally attended their seminars, again, pre-COVID, amazing series. They invite speakers who are successful entrepreneurs, and you learn a lot of amazing stuff. DMZ, that's with Ryerson University. In BC, it's Hatch. Again, there are dozens more. Just Google, guys. Community organizations like Access, like TNO, and many others. So here's my contact information. If you have any questions beyond today, it's larissagrant@gmail.com. Find me on LinkedIn and check TNO, because our organization can really support you in building your team and getting the resources that you need. So I'll then stop sharing in a few seconds, but I don't know if we have time for questions.
Larissa, thank you so much. Actually, our third speaker is having some issues because she has a fire alarm in her building that's going off and she can't get online on her computer. So and she's going to try and call in. So in the meantime, I'm sure we have time for at least one question as we wait. So there are a lot of questions about different streams. So there's one, you can pick and choose. There's one about I can start my own hair salon, but I'm not getting support from my family during these tough times during COVID. That's one question. Another question is looking at various streams. Somebody wants to start a grocery business. Which department should I contact to buy a business in Canada? Then there's one about where can I find exporter manufacturer information in Canada? So I'm giving you a choice of three questions. There are a lot more, so please pick one. And
Okay, so export import, I touched upon that. It's, because it's on the federal level, start with the government. You can Google, export import Canada. There are local organizations depending on in what province you are. There are also, I would say, clubs. In Toronto, there is Import Export Club, where you can meet individuals where can help you out. Now, depending if you have prior experience, there are even college programs for import export. If you need extra knowledge, if you need actually to learn something, that's it. Because even just take supply management, supply chain management, procurement, knowing laws, it takes a lot of research, again, without knowing what you already know and your experience. It's start with the government, and they will lead you based on what exactly you want to export. Because if you want to export children's clothing versus timber, this is different help, right? So that my help would be reach out to government organizations. They're here to serve you. Then there was a grocery store, right?
yes.
Okay. So, now grocery store, it's because it's a location. And as real estate professionals say here in Canada, it's all about location, location, location. So I would say, if that's what you want, so find the community that you love. You want to serve that community. Then what kind of produce is going to be? Is going to be a generic grocery store, a convenience store, or it's geared towards a certain diet, or it can be a grocery store plus a cafe where people will actually hang out. Like think about Starbucks plus bookstore. They collaborate. So think about already existing brands, how they do it. Now, what else in grocery stores? There are warehousing organizations where produce comes from either another province in Canada or from the US or from other countries, and that's where you purchase them in bulk and then sell at retail prices. If that's one of the ways, or you may want to reach out to local farmers and like I said, target organic market. I personally attended a few events with local organic marketers, spent a night in a tent just for the sake of meditation. That's what they did. They offer you meditation and kind of yoga experience in their field. So what they offer is they offer a basket. They call it a basket. So you pre-order it. You say, well, I want this and this product. Say like a customer. Say I want carrots. I want tomatoes. I want cucumbers. But it's coming from the organic farm, like maybe an hour away from Toronto. And if you are that farm, then you deliver freshly taken out produce directly to customers, to their homes or to a store. So these are just some of the ideas. Again, without knowing the details, that's all I can say on a more general sense.
That's a great, that's great information. And thank you for that great presentation. I see that Arvina has joined us. So Arvina, welcome.
Thank you.
Before we go, and folks, Larissa has shared her information. So please send her an email because there are a lot of other questions we can't get to. And we also had a lot of questions for Ing. So please send her an email as well, or send it to us at info@canadianimmigrant.ca. So before we get to Arvina, let's just watch a video from today's one of today's sponsors, BMO. So Laura, can you please play the video?
BMO New Start gives you up to $600 in value and 3 GB monthly bonus data for a year with Chatter Mobile. A small step towards growing your family. That's real financial progress. Apply now.
Thank you, Laura. So welcome to Arvina. Arvina Moghul is the CEO and founder of Beam. We'll be posing a couple of questions to her. We have about 10 minutes, so we'll just ask Arvina a couple of questions. And if you have questions, we might not have time, but just send it to us on info@canadianimmigrant.ca or send it in the chat. So Arvina, welcome. We know you had a fire alarm on your in your building, and you finally joined us on the phone. So welcome. Thank you for being here. So can you hear me?
Hello.
Hi.
Mic test?
Yes, you're great. So, can you tell us a little bit about your company, Beam, and how your journey has looked like?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your patience. So just a quick rundown of how we, built Beam to be what it is now is we saw that there was an opportunity for building an online community software that will help businesses connect with their customers online. Ever since COVID happened last year, we've seen that there's a flurry of businesses that are, kind of scrambling around trying to make sense of, how they can connect with their customers, especially brick and mortar stores. On the flip side, for online stores, there's unprecedented, amount of information that started to go online because everyone's online. So there's basically information overload, and it was much more hard to actually reach out to customers online through normal third-party tools such as Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, et cetera, et cetera. My team and I has been in the online community space and gaming space for almost a decade now collectively, and we realized that we're able to use game mechanics, game theory to get people engaged and to increase retention for online communities. So the idea formed around that. We started working on the software, and we actually just did a public launch a few months back. We're really happy so far with a lot of the feedback that we're getting from, from small business owners to large enterprise companies to schools to government organizations and to even freelancers. So yeah, happy to answer more questions. I've seen a lot of interest around, community software, and I'm happy to, answer any questions that anyone has. I'm not sure if I can hear you, Ramya, but yes, or if you're talking. Oh, okay.
Oh, you're speaking, so please go ahead.
Oh no, I was saying that, like if there's any questions whatsoever, I'm happy to answer it further.
Okay, so we'll just go to challenges. What were the challenges you faced, and how did the challenges shape your journey? And on the other hand, you can also talk about opportunities. Challenges, opportunities. So it's a very broad question.
Absolutely. So maybe I can touch upon the, the difficult conversation first around challenges. So obviously it's been a challenge for, oh gosh, not just our company, but a lot of companies that are, in the space. I've seen a lot of companies, kind of fold during the pandemic, and a lot of companies as well that was started because of the pandemic. So that's really exciting. I think for us specifically, it's turning into full-time remote. We've always been, remote for a portion of our work, but because of COVID, everything has been remote, not just for our company, but everything else in our personal lives. So I think this challenge is really for everyone, the modern day information worker to any regular business, small business, startups, to large enterprises. I think the main challenge was more on the mindset and mental health for everyone who, needed to start working from home, to anyone who needed to be outside working despite not wanting to. I think that main challenge is something that we've shared with everyone. The second challenge would be the talent challenge. So I think there was a lot of people that, felt the need to, even switch to another job during the pandemic, just because of the fact that it's all remote and you don't have to be close to work anymore. So that actually presented an opportunity for a lot of people to, start working from home, and to not go for roles that are, in the city or, 1 or 2 hours drive away. So as a business, the challenge for that is, of course, getting talent and trying to recruit people who are, interested in working at a startup. But now, instead of, before, one of the cool things about working at, a startup or a progressive company is being able to go ahead and work from home most of the time. But because of COVID, a lot of companies started to offer that as well. And it was clear that there were, a lot of savings when it comes to, downsizing an office or not having to pay for office related equipment anymore. So that presented an opportunity for a lot of employers to also increase compensation packages. So it was pretty difficult to stay competitive, with the compensation for our company, but that actually poses an opportunity for us to actually start searching and spending more time searching and attracting professionals, attracting potential candidates who resonate with our mission. So yeah, that is something that we, one of the challenges and opportunity as well that we uncovered. Hopefully that covers some challenges that, other, businesses have faced, or anyone in the audience may have faced it. I think that despite the challenges, the major opportunity that the pandemic has posed us is the ability to start a business, start a small business, a freelancing business. I think, if anything, this is the time to start working on, on your business, start working on the idea that you've been, thinking of for the past few years, because there's now more information, now more than ever. And there's a lot of people who are very interested in, helping out, being mentors to business leaders. So definitely that major opportunity, is more obvious now more than ever. And I definitely encourage anyone to pursue any business idea that they were thinking of, especially at this time, during this time.
Great. Thank you so much. That was very motivational, really so inspiring. So I'm going to ask you quickly, before I go to our last question, how does one find a mentor?
For sure. So I think the first, I guess, impression that a lot of people think when finding a mentor is, oh, you have to pay them, or you have to, go into a program, or you need to have like a business idea already formed and all of those things. You don't. As soon as you want to explore an idea, there are a lot of people who are available and willing to put in the time for various reasons. One, because they want to pay it forward, because I've spoken to a lot of successful executives, successful business owners, and I've also watched and listened to a lot of podcasts, movies, and videos. And the one lesson that I take away from it, the most common lesson, is that there's usually one person that gave them the time of day, that gave them that chance to get into that network or get into that investment or to get the first check, to get approval, or to be the first customer. There's usually that one person that believed in them. And I can tell you right now that any business leader or executive or expert that you approach, there's usually someone that actually gave them that chance as well. So most of the time, a lot of mentors want to, kind of pay it forward, and want to be that person for another person. Mm-hmm. So, when you approach mentors, keep that in mind. They love
advice. That's great advice.
No problem.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I know we're not on video, so the context between replying and responding is it's a bit missing.
No, I have a question for you. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Continue. Okay. So you wanted to speak about creating an online community for a business. That's something you wanted to talk about. Our last question for you, but please go ahead and give us your advice, your tips.
For sure. So when creating an online community, I'll make this pretty short. I think a lot of people look at it as, another Twitter account or another Facebook account, but it's not. It is your own community where you can really build a tight-knit group of loyal customers. So I definitely would put in the same amount of time that you would put into, creating content for social media or creating that first newsletter. I definitely would do that. And I've seen and I've read on a lot of case studies that prove that building an online community will build a very dedicated group of customers who will be your brand ambassadors, who will even pay just to be a part of that community. So if you are not thinking of building an online community for your business yet, I definitely would encourage you to do so. And as always, I'm here and I'm available to chat about that. We also have a community online that, shares tips and tricks and how to build a successful online community and, essentially how to monetize that group of customers as well.
Thank you so much for that great presentation and for sharing your experiences. I just noticed I'm not on video, but folks, our latest issue of the magazine, Canadian Immigrant, is available. I hope you can see it. Yes, this is it. And we actually have, a story about Arvina. She's shared her experiences. So this is Arvina in our magazine. And if you don't have the print copy, oops, let me show this to you. If you don't have the print copy, you can always go to our website and the PDF version is available. And in the same issue, we actually speak about, we have a advice for newcomers who are looking to start a business. So that might also be useful. It's on our website. So just go to canadianimmigrant.ca and you will find this information. So once again, thank you, Arvina, for making this year in the middle of everything that's happening. And you're here. So we can actually say hello to you. So folks, Arvina is here and thank you for the presentation. So to wrap up, thank you so much to everyone for attending our web conference that's being organized in partnership with Access Employment and sponsored by BMO. And special thanks to our speakers, Ying, Larissa, and Arvina. I learned a lot today. So thank you for joining us and for sharing your skills and expertise with everyone. I have a question saying, will the presentations be shared? So this video will be available online and just go to canadianimmigrant.ca and you will find this posted. Lots of great information, I know, but you will be able to access it even after the webinar is done. And if you missed anything, you can take some notes, find it on your website, on our website, and the speakers have kindly shared their contact information as well. And if there's anything else, any other subjects for webinars or a specific entrepreneurship webinar you want us to organize, you can email us at info@canadianimmigrant.ca. And thank you for joining us today. Our next web conference is on September 30th on hiring trends and interview preparation. So thank you to everyone and have a great day.
Thank you, Ramya. Thanks, Aurora. Good day.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.